Now at 5, a terrifying situation for this mother. Her son nearly drowning in their own backyard pool. How he's doing tonight and the steps you can take to keep your pool safe. Plus, the BMV might owe you money. Find out how you could get a share from millions worth of overcharges. And keeping you cool as things heat up at this year's Brickyard 400. The special steps the Speedway will take to make that happen.
From the station working for you, this is RTV6 News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Amanda Starantino. Over 8 million households in the U.S. have backyard pools. And with these hot summer days, you and your family might just be enjoying them. But what happens when a young child finds himself drowning in his own backyard pool? RTV6's Kandis Mascall brings us this story. Kandis.
You're looking at a miracle, baby. Parents say this young boy was underwater for nearly 4 minutes after falling into their pool. His mother fearing the worst, but getting a totally different outcome.
Things just happen so fast. I mean, here 1 minute, gone the next.
Brittany Moriano tells the story of what almost was a tragic accident for her 1-year-old son, Zachariah. It started out as a regular Monday. The kids playing in the yard, their grandmother present. Brittany had stepped out to grab some snacks for the kids, but when she came back, her stepmother was panicking, yelling, "Call 911."
By the time I got in the front door, she was already in the dining room area, and I saw my son Zach in her arms, and he had no color to him, absolutely nothing, and my whole world just froze. I dropped everything that I had in my hand.
The ambulance took Zach to St. Vincent Kokomo, where he was then airlifted to Peyton Manning Children's Hospital in Indianapolis. His family worried that he wasn't going to make it, but you can tell he made a full recovery. The family says all his tests came back fine, and Zach is back home tonight, surrounded by his loved ones.
He is the spunkiest, happiest, goofiest baby.
And Brittany has some summertime advice for every family.
Honestly, with the pool situations, it's most of the time we have it locked up if the kids aren't swimming in it, but just anyone else, with little kids around, any kids really, just to make sure that the pools are gated, the doors are closed, or make sure the pool's covered up. It's such an important thing, and it's such a scary thing. I never thought that it could be my child.
So here are some extra tips that can make house pools more safe for your kids. One of the more obvious ones is to always have adults present to keep an eye on your young swimmers. Another thing you can do is install 4-sided fencing around your pool and keep those gate latches out of children's reach. And finally, make sure the pool deck is clear of beach balls or other toys that could attract little ones to the pool area. According to the Center for Disease Control, children between ages 1 and 4 have the highest drowning rates, and most of those drownings happen in home swimming pools. Sometimes there's very little screaming or splashing, as drownings can happen silently. So above all, just keep an eye on the kids while you're enjoying your day at the pool.
Thank you, Kandis. And we have new details on the car officers believe was involved in a fatal hit and run on the city's northwest side. A motorcyclist was killed near 52nd and Lafayette Road last night. This is the description of the car police are looking for. It is a red 2002 Dodge Neon with an Indiana license plate of XVQ562. If you see the car, you need to call Crime Stoppers or the IMPD hit and run office. And more than 5.5 million Hoosiers are eligible for refunds after the BMV overage settlement. Now, businesses and organizations are also eligible to get a piece of the $62 million settlement. Now there are two ways you can get your money, which can be credits for your next BMV transaction. You can get anywhere from $3 to $50 in credits. We'll walk you through the claim process later on tonight. Our RTV6 app has the website where you can fill out your claim. You can also check your refund eligibility at the same time. Call 6 Investigates has an update to the bridal retailer that closed down. Alfred Angelo filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy last week, and now the Indiana Attorney General's office is looking at options. The AG's office wants to help brides-to-be who are looking for their dresses or a refund. Anyone with a complaint with the store can file it with their office. This is one of the factors used to determine how actions are taken against a company that abruptly shuts down. While tackling outstanding warrants, a local church is working with Marion County law enforcement and the courts to provide an opportunity for people with active warrants to turn themselves in. It's called Operation Safe Surrender, and it's specifically for people with nonviolent misdemeanors, child support, and low-level felonies. The goal of the 3-day event is set for a future court date.
So one of the things, goal, Stephanie, is to be sure that people can do that, not at 2 o'clock in the morning when it's dangerous and guns are pointed and lights and people are, but come in here, do it safely.
Last year, the program was able to review nearly 400 warrants, some being resolved on site. Officials say they hope to see even more people come out this year. The event will take place at Messiah Missionary Baptist Church on the northeast side, August 17th through August 19th. Now looking ahead to the weekend, here's Storm Team 6 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory. We're giving you a live look outside from our downtown Westview Weather Now camera. Looking beautiful out there.
We'll just stare at that for a second. The sunshine that you see, we'll see again tomorrow, Sunday, Monday. You get the idea here. The showers and thunderstorms south of the Ohio River and wave goodbye as they leave. Cooler, drier air coming in. Clear nights, sunny days, comfortable temperatures below average for this time of the year with really low humidity expected. Temperatures will be in the 50s for lows and highs will be close to the 80-degree mark. We'll have a nice range in temperatures because the air is so dry. That comes with nothing more really than a couple cumulus clouds through the day, so enjoy that. Here's your planner for your Saturday. Morning temperatures in the 60s, reaching 74 by noon, and we get to the afternoon where temperatures will be close to 80 for the high, and we'll repeat it all again, Amanda, on Sunday.
Sounds good, especially because of the Brickyard 400. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway is gearing up for the intense heat anticipated for that race this weekend. There's a few tips on staying cool for fans who plan on coming out. First, make sure you hydrate the day before. Always keep water on hand and monitor your alcohol intake if you plan on drinking. The president of IMS says even he has fallen victim to the high temperatures at the track.
It does happen to you when you don't think that it can, and we do. The nice thing is we do have a great infield care center, and they take good care of you and can get you going. However, you do not want to see Dr. Billows or his team on race day, so just make sure you're drinking a lot of water. Don't be like Doug.
To help beat the heat, IMS will provide several cooling buses and misting stations for fans to use. They say there are several water fountains available throughout the track, so feel free to fill up your water bottles throughout the day. But after this year, the Brickyard 400 will take place in September to help ease this temperature problem. The parole board has decided O.J. Simpson's fate in Carson City, Nevada. Simpson could be released from prison as early as October. The 70-year-old former NFL star served 9 of his 33-year sentence. He says he plans to move back home to Florida after his release. Prosecutors say the Cincinnati police officer who shot and killed an unarmed black man during a traffic stop will not face a third trial. After 2 mistrials, the case will be dropped against Ray Tensing. The 27-year-old shot 43-year-old Sam DeBose in the head 2 years ago after he pulled him over for not having a front license plate. Tensing's lawyers argued he opened fire after his arm got stuck after DeBose started up the car and started driving. DeBose's family is unhappy about that decision. It turns out a woman who says she was pregnant and lost her baby after being shot at her gender reveal party in Ohio was not pregnant. Police announcing that today. Investigators say 2 shooters arrived at the party and opened fire outside of Cincinnati a little more than a week ago. 1 person was killed, 8 were wounded, but tonight police say some of the victims are not cooperating with their investigation. So far, no arrests have been made. Sometimes it's hard to let things go, but for one New Hampshire man, hoarding may have cost him his life. Firefighters in Manchester responded to a call around 1:30 this morning to a house fire. Believing that someone was still inside, firefighters entered the home, finding loads and piles of objects in their path.
The hoarding situation made it very difficult for firefighters even to move around. Due to the collapse of the ceiling in the kitchen and the living room area, firefighters had an extreme hard time just getting through that area to make it to the bedrooms.
Eventually, they were able to pull a 58-year-old man through the debris and out of the house. He was taken to the hospital, but sadly, he did pass away. Neighbors say the man began hoarding when his wife died 11 years ago, and he couldn't bear to part with anything that reminded him of her. A scary situation for this California dog and his family after their house caught fire. Watch as firefighters take the dog out of the house, but he is unconscious. A firefighter then put an oxygen mask made just for animals on him. After a few tense moments, the pup is responsive and back in his family's arms. And just to be safe, the firefighter who revived the dog came back to visit. The Vandals are on the loose after breaking the windows of a Louisville business, but police don't appear to be too worried. The company's CEO called the police and officers arrived to the scene, finding broken glass everywhere. But what they found on the surveillance camera took them all by surprise. It was a group of goats.
20 minutes he actually sat and just banged on that one side until he broke it. And then he left, and then he came back and decided to break the other side too. I don't know why. That was just to be mean, I guess.
The goats got away, but not without leaving a pile of evidence for those officers. This is one of the worst things that can happen when you're babysitting. New Jersey police say a 17-month-old toddler fell 3 stories from a balcony. But the story does have a happy ending because that toddler survived that fall. The 13-year-old sibling in charge didn't notice the baby climb onto a chair on the balcony and fall off. The baby landed on the grass, barely missing a spiked fence.
We don't want it to happen at all, but when you look at this situation, it's a miracle.
After a trip to the hospital, the toddler seemed to be okay. World War II's oldest living veteran is getting a home upgrade, and he won't have to pay a penny. At 111 years old, Richard Overton has lived in the same house for almost 70 years. The home hasn't changed much since then, so Meals on Wheels decided to step in and help. Not only do they deliver meals to the elderly, but their services also include home repairs.
Glad to get it done. Be glad when they start, be glad when they get through. That's 2 glades. 2 glades. 2 glades.
His home is getting a walk-in shower, central heating and air, and new laminate floors to replace the old carpet. The Home Depot Foundation will fund this project and should only take 2 weeks to complete. And that wraps up our show for tonight. Thank you for choosing RTV6 for your news. Have a great night.